Good job. Good morning, Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues. It is an honor for me to stand here before you today and address you for another opportunity to talk about my favorite topic, Ras Al Khaimah. We've been on a journey, and there's a little story I want to share with you about AHIC and how we arrived to bring AHIC to Ras Al Khaimah. And it was over a discussion that it was initiated, obviously, with my team and I to talk to Jonathan, Jennifer, and John to give us the opportunity to bring AHIC right here on our turf. Of course, there were concerns, doubts, and we've asked the team and Jonathan if they've ever been to Ras Al Khaimah, and actually they haven't. So we've extended an invite and a little tour of this beautiful property, the World of Astoria, did the entire work. Made our life easy and made the job a lot easier. Also, they were concerned about the meeting space. They weren't sure if we had enough convention space. So we took a paper and a pencil literally and asked them to tell us how would that space look like if they had the opportunity to design their own space. How would it look like? They thought they were taking them for a ride, but we were actually being serious. And the result is this. The result is this beautiful structure that you have on the beach for the first time. And I want to correct something that Jonathan said. Apologies, Jonathan. We are over 900 delegates. We are not just under 900 delegates. So thank you, everybody. We are delighted to have the highest number of registrations ever. Last year we had 750, I think, in Dubai. So we're delighted to have a great presence, thanks to you, and thank you for your contribution. More personally, I'd like to thank the entire team of AHIC, my team as well, for the efforts they made, the World of Astoria team, of course, who's done a fantastic job, and also the government entities who worked tirelessly to get the infrastructure ready. The road you have been on to arrive to this beautiful hotel was all work in progress just under a year ago. Now, this leads me to our next discussion. Some of you may think, why Ras Al Khaimah? So why would tourists be enticed to come to Ras Al Khaimah? And why would investors be enticed to come to Ras Al Khaimah? Our leader, His Highness Sheikh Saud bin Saud Al Qasimi, has always motivated us to pursue greatness. He always wanted us to make sure that we turned good things to great. And that's our motive. This is what we live by day after day. And this structure here, and AHIC's organization, is only a testament of what we aim to achieve in terms of greatness. In 2015, we did the first and largest ever consumer research for Ras Al Khaimah, tapping into not only what was then the feeder markets, but also what we thought would be the new markets that would contribute to our strategy, to our growth. And that was actually very enlightening. As the first three top motivators of travel for travelers were, number one, beach, sun, and sand. And I assure you, Ras Al Khaimah is not short of any beach, sun, and sand. Neither is the UAE. But also, the second motivator of travel was people wanting to learn about the country's people, about the culture, the heritage. They wanted to connect. But also, the third motivator of travel was people seeking adventure. And adventure is what we wanted to be on. We've then engaged in workshops that enabled us to study the lay of the land, as there was this misconception about Ras Al Khaimah being a destination that only offered great beaches and great beach resorts. But beyond that, there is so much more to discover. We have the highest mountains in the UAE, Jebel Jais, a beautiful desert terrain, and great beaches. Just a year after launching our strategy, a little less than that, we made headlines. We made international headlines in breaking the world record of Guinness with the longest zip line up on Jebel Jais. Not only that, we also diversified our visitor, we diversified our markets, we also we're able to diversify our product. New hotel brands have made their way to Ras Al Khaimah. We now have 5,500 hotel rooms in operation. In the pipeline, we have over 5,000 hotel rooms, from Anantara to Intercontinental to Millennium, Movenpick, and many more making their way here into Ras Al Khaimah. The new rebrand of the Ritz-Carlton has enabled us to reach greater heights in terms of awareness. We also started to work on new innovative events, such as AHIC, and a little bit more in terms of hosting the DRV, which is the largest German travel association, and many more to come in the pipeline as too. We launched in 2016 the Destination Strategy 2019, and we set some really ambitious targets. Can we have those targets? 1 million visitors by the end of 2018, our contribution to GDP to increase the length of stay, and also improve the visitor satisfaction. And I assure you, we are well on track, can we have visual 3, with this target. The biggest target, though, is actually the 2025 target, which is to bring in close to 3 million visitors by 2025. Now, that's going to need some work, not just bringing in tourists, but also building the infrastructure. Ras Al Khaimah is consistently growing, faster than many of the other destinations around us. We've also seen that we are the second highest occupancy growth, sorry, not in the GCC, but in the UAE. But we also have the second highest ADR just after Dubai in the UAE. We've moved a long way in bringing the RevPAR, the ADR of the destination, to where we want it to be. Of course, this comes with the help of the hotels and the organizations behind the tourism, and also our partners, the tour operators and the travel agents. Today's travelers are much more agile than we were many years ago. People booking online, the booking.coms of the world, Airbnb. We've signed with Airbnb recently. All of this is contributing to the growth of tourism here in Ras Al Khaimah. But our problem is not bringing in demand. Demand seems to be growing quite healthy. Our challenge is actually room supply. And I want to show you a little bit of a demonstration of, the demand supply analysis. And you can see here, we will be restricted in growing our demand if we don't grow the supply at the same speed. And you can see here some of the shortages or gaps of rooms that we still have here in Ras Al Khaimah. So in fact, we need to triple our room size in the next few years. By 2025, we actually need 20,000 rooms, not 15, 20,000 rooms by 2025. Let me share some more figures with you on visual 6, please. On the average occupancies, we're now nudging 74%. I just looked at the latest SDR report. For the first quarter of the year, we are at 79% occupancy. March was a stellar performance at 87%. Great performance in occupancy. We need more rooms. Now, if we start to think about what do we want to achieve in order to attract investors and tell you a compelling story for those investors in the room, there isn't many places around the world today where you have prices of land like you do here in Ras Al Khaimah that is beachfront, which allows you to open 4-star hotels that could perform at a great ROI. And we've got demonstrations, especially with a study that Collier did recently, that demonstrates the IRR, returns on land or properties here in Ras Al Khaimah on Al Marjan with similar products across the region, and how that would outperform any other property across the region. Now, there's many things we can really talk to you about here, but what I can promise you is that we focus on the future, we focus on the growth, and we focus on achieving greatness. But ladies and gentlemen, I really wish you an enlightening AHIC, and I hope you enjoy your time. Make sure you spend money in Ras Al Khaimah when you come back again as tourists. That's what we like to see. But of course, I've talked to you about the development, I've talked to you about the growth, but of course, this development, this progress that I've talked to you, it does not happen spontaneously. Of course, it needs a force behind it. It needs a driving force. And this driving force, I would really thank the person who has been my mentor, who has been the vision, and who has had the passion, the energy to drive and push this little emirate that could drive us forward, with whose support we could have never achieved. Your Highness, it is my honor to invite you to the stage. Thank you for your support.